Can you just explain why this exchange, why Bout himself was so personal for Putin?
Well, Viktor Bout was an arms control dealer all over the world, giving arms to lots of bad characters, lots of bad governments, lots of bad movements all over the world. If you look at his biography on his Wikipedia page, you can see that he studied at institutions in the Soviet Union where typically KGB agents also studied. So he's close to that world, that world of Vladimir Putin. Remember, Putin was a KGB agent himself. And I can tell you from personal experience, when I was the ambassador to Russia, that the Russian government, Mr. Putin's government, has been focused for years to try to get him home. They consider him one of theirs. And finally, he's back at home like they wanted to achieve, like I said, for many, many years.
And I want to be clear, it is a victory and a celebration that Brittney Griner is home. It is more about the questions that it raises moving forward for what this means for diplomats like yourself who work through these questions. I wonder how it is that you are thinking about it.
These are very hard calls. They're very difficult decisions. All diplomacy is about trying to get a deal with your interlocutors. And when you're dealing with the Russians, they're especially difficult. They're especially hard negotiators. And then there comes a time, whether you're negotiating an arms control deal or a swap like this one, where there's a deal on the table, you know you're not going to get any more, and then you have to decide, do I take this deal or walk away? And sometimes we need to walk away, and we most certainly did when I was in the Obama administration. In this particular instance, I think it was right to take the deal, because if you didn't, there would have been no deal. It wasn't like there was a better option. Of course, we would wish for all Americans, Paul Whelan, Mark Fogel, to be part of this deal. 3 innocent Americans for 1 criminal, but that wasn't the deal on the table. I think it was a very hard call, but I think they made the right decision.
Listen, the timing of this is lost on no one, you least of all. Griner was arrested just weeks before Russia invaded Ukraine, and I wonder how that then complicated all of this.
It's a great question. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I know that when I sense, I should be careful here. I haven't talked to Vladimir Putin about it, but I sense that when they picked her up, they knew they had an asset, and that's the way they think about these things, that might be tradable for Viktor Bout. The other trades that were made, they didn't think they could get Viktor Bout. And I think it's really important for people to understand that they've been focused on getting Bout out for nearly a decade. And because of her high profile, because we live in a democracy, so there was lobbying and efforts to try to get her out, they knew that they might have had somebody that they could trade for Viktor Bout, and ultimately they were right about that.
There is, of course, disappointment from Paul Whelan's family that he was not free. They have been very clear they are happy for Brittney Griner. They are happy for her wife and for family that they have them home. As one of my previous guests said, they have shown incredible grace. I asked David Whelan, Paul Whelan's brother, last night if he had a sense of the type of deal, what was needed to get Whelan out of Russia, and he says he does not. I wonder if you have that sense of who or what it is they would want in exchange.
Well, Putin said some encouraging things yesterday. He said, we're open to other deals. That's unusual for him. He's never talked about even this deal until yesterday. I think the one person they really want is a murderer from Germany. Krasikov is his name, that he killed somebody in open daylight, right, in a park on a bicycle. He's in German captivity. And that's the person they really want out. I think that's very difficult for the United States government to work with him. But there may be others. I don't know for a fact that there may be other criminals that could be traded. And I do know for a fact that the Biden administration continues to work on these issues. For Paul Whelan, for Mark Fogel, they remain committed to try to getting all Americans out of Russia. I just don't know exactly what cards they have to play.